We are going to look at question 2 and 3 together because question 3 is asking you to select the best support for your answer to question 2. When you have these paired questions, you want to read the initial question first and see if you know the answer. If you do, then select the answer and go to the next question and find the excerpt from the passage that best supports your answer. So basically, you're answering these questions in order, 2, then 3. But if you are uncertain what the answer is to the initial question, then you want to go to the places in the passage indicated in the evidence question and see which of these places helps you to find the answer to the initial question. So basically, you would be answering question 3 before question 2. So let's start by reading question 2. It can be reasonably inferred from the narrative that Freeman can be seen as a symbol of. Now, this question is asking you to make an inference or understand the passage as a whole. This kind of question definitely requires you to really understand the passage. So if you were having any trouble following this passage or understanding its deeper meaning, then it would be better if you skipped this question and question 3 until after you answered the other questions, because every time you answer a new question, it helps you to understand the passage better. So when you come back to this question, you would really be ready to answer it. Now, either if you answered this question immediately or you waited, you are probably thinking to yourself, well, Freeman is definitely a bad guy. And he is a bad guy because he is a slave owner. Okay, so let's see if we can rule out any choices in number 2. Choice D does not seem correct. Freeman is cruel to both his male and female slaves. So it doesn't seem likely that he's a symbol of sexism in colonial America. So this answer is out. Now, I actually want to look at the answer choice A for number 2 and A for number 3 together. First, let's read the excerpt from the passage. Freeman asked him $1,500 for me. The old gentleman insisted it was too much. Okay, so this is about money. And if we look at choice A from number 2, it says that Freeman is a symbol of the greed inherent in capitalism. So these answers sort of go together, but you can't just match choices of answers from number 2 and answers from number 3. You have to decide if you're actually answering the question. So just because these choices go together, do you really think that the answer to the question is that Freeman symbolizes the greed inherent in capitalism? No. Freeman is bad because he's a slave owner, not just because he's making money. So this means choice A is out for both number 2 and number 3. Okay, so at this point, you need to decide, are you going to keep eliminating choices from number 2 or number 3? I think in this case, it's actually easier to look at number 3. So let's look at choice B. All the time the trade was going on, Eliza was crying aloud and wringing her hands. She besought the man not to buy him. Well, this is more about Eliza than Freeman, so this isn't helping us to answer the question. So it's out. Let's look at choice D. I became very sick. For 3 days, I was entirely blind. While lying in this state one day, Bob came in, saying to Dr. Carr that Freeman had sent him over to inquire how we were getting on. Okay, this is more about the narrator being sick, and it does mention Freeman, but it doesn't really help us to understand Freeman as a symbol. So it's wrong. Well, this means that by process of elimination, all we have left is choice C as the best answer for number 3. So let's look at that excerpt. Freeman damned her, calling her a blubbering, bawling wench, and ordered her to go to her place and behave herself and be somebody. Okay, so if this is the best evidence or support, then let's look back at question 2 and see which answer does it best support. Well, the only choices we have left in number 2 are B and C. So the excerpt certainly describes Freeman as cruel and aggressive. But choice B is humanity's penchant for aggression. So this is actually a trap answer. It means that humans are likely to be aggressive. That's what penchant means, to be inclined or predisposed to do something. Now, does the author think that all humans are bad, or that humans cannot help themselves but to be bad? No, this doesn't seem right. So let's look at choice C, the cruelty and violence inherent in slavery. Okay, so this means that Freeman is a symbol of all that is bad about slavery. So choice C for number 2 is the best answer, and it is definitely supported by choice C in number 3.